Hey y'all. So we are in Daniel chapter 2. Now this one's going to be a little bit longer than usual. Hopefully I can get it all in one part. So let's go ahead and jump into the chapter context. So chapter 1 introduced King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, Daniel, a captive youth from Jerusalem, and three other Jewish boys. After 3 years of education, the four Hebrews, he, the four Hebrew captives outperform all the other trainees, even surpassing the wise men in Babylon. In chapter 2, Daniel describes and interprets Nebuchadnezzar's disturbing dream through the court musicians, though the court musicians could not. As a result, the king promotes Daniel and history fans to a higher position over the province of Babylon. This sets the stage for a severe test of faith in chapter 3. Let me stop playing with myself and zoom this in, make it bigger. Okay, so Daniel chapter 2, breakdown part 1. The early part of this chapter transitions from Hebrew to Aramaic. Sorry. Oh, one of my babies got up. The book of Daniel will remain in that language until chapter 8, Daniel 2 4 through 7:28. This emphasizes that those stories are messages to and about the Gentile people. The king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel 1 through 3, is disturbed by a dream. Rather than simply asking his court oculist to explain it, he devises a test. It's possible the king inherited these magicians from his father and did not trust them. His claim is simple. If they cannot tell him what the dream was, it means their claims to spiritual insight have been lies. Anyone can invent an interpretation, but only real power can tell someone their own dream. After stalling for time, the conjurers claim the king's request is impossible and unreasonable. So Nebuchadnezzar ordered his wise men, all of them, to be executed. My goodness. Daniel 1 17 through 20 hears of this and appeals to the king. Though Daniel had no such knowledge yet, he is confident the Lord will provide it. Come on, Daniel. And that's Daniel 2 1 through 16. Rather than panic, Daniel appeals to his fellow Hebrew captives and asks for prayers. The men seek God, who responds by giving Daniel a vision explaining both the king's dream and his meaning. In response, Daniel praises God's perfect wisdom and absolute authority. Amen. Daniel 2 17 through 23. When he meets with the king, Daniel begins by agreeing with the magicians. No human being could know what the king has asked for. Good Lord, my eyesight went out a little bit. However, Daniel knows the God in heaven who reveals mysteries. He credits all of his knowledge to the Lord and his purposes. God has chosen to reveal the meaning of the dream through Daniel because it predicts what will happen and what to Daniel and the king was the future. Okay. Daniel 2 24 through 30. The king's dream depicted a massive, terrifying statue. This figure had a head made of gold, a chest and arm of silver, a midsection of bronze, legs of iron, and feet made of mixed iron and clay. A spiritual natural stone strikes the statue and its fragile feet. The image collapses and disintegrates. Disintegrates into powder and the remains disappear. The stone, however, grows until it covers the entire world. Notably, the materials in this statue become lighter, stronger, and less valuable as they go from top to bottom. The exception is clay, which is extremely brittle and cannot be fully fused with iron. Daniel 2 31 through 35. Daniel explains that these images represent the future in the form of kingdoms yet to come. Okay, history demonstrates the accuracy of this explanation and fills in information which will not be known until later. The golden head symbolizes Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon and its absolute monarchy. The silver chest and armor represents partly independent nature of the Medo-Persian Empire. Next, the bronze midsection predicts the Greek Empire. Finally, the iron legs depict the Roman Empire, which is sharply divided and falls into division and corruption. The stone which shatters this line depicts a kingdom formed by God, which will conquer the world and never be challenged. Daniel 2:36-45. Y'all, I promise you I keep hearing a door open, but maybe it's my dad on his phone. In response to this display of supernatural wisdom, Nebuchadnezzar honors Daniel. Rather than worshiping Daniel, the king seems to accept that Daniel acts as a conduit for divine power. And yet the king refers to Daniel's God as the greatest of many. Come on now. Retaining and adjusting his pagan religious views, Nebuchadnezzar appoints Daniel to a position of higher leadership. On Daniel's request, the king also installs Daniel's 3 faithful Hebrew friends in prestigious roles. Daniel 2:46-49. The 3 friends are mostly famous for their Babylonian names, which are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Daniel 1:6-7. They will be severely tested when the king commands them to worship an idol or be burned alive in a furnace. Daniel chapter 3. Okay, because it said throw me in there. God got me, period. So let's go ahead and get into this breakdown part 2. Daniel chapter 2 is the Bible detail. In the Bible, details King Nebuchadnezzar's dream of a giant gold statue, gold head, silver chest, bronze belly, iron legs, clay/iron feet, destroyed by a rock that grows into an eternal mountain, which Daniel interprets as a prophecy of 4 worlds empires: Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, followed by God's everlasting kingdom, showing God's sovereignty over history and providing hope that divine rule will ultimately triumph over earthly power. So, the dream's key elements and interpretations. Number 1, statue. The statue, a colossal figure representing successive world empires. Number 2, head of gold, King Nebuchadnezzar in the Babylonian Empire. Chest and armor of silver, the Medo-Persian Empire inferior to Babylon. Belly and thighs of bronze, the Greek Empire. Legs of iron, the Roman Empire, powerful but eventually divided. Feet and iron of clay, a fragmented, divided final empire representing a weakened Rome or future Antichrist coalition. And then the last one is the stone, a rock cut without hands representing God's divine kingdom. Strikes the feet, destroys the whole statue, and grows into a mountain filling the earth, symbolizing God's eternal, indestructible kingdom that replaces all others, period. So, key themes and meanings. Number 1, God's sovereignty. God controls world history and elevates or disposes kings. Divine versus worldly wisdom. The Babylonian wise men fail. Only God's revelation to Daniel provides true understanding. Number 3, hope for believers. It offers hope that God's ultimate peaceful kingdom will overcome evil and suffering in the world. Yes, it will. Number 4, prophecy of the Messiah. The eternal kingdom established by the stone is linked to the coming of the Son of Man / Messiah or Jesus. So in essence, Daniel chapter 2 reveals God's long-term plan for humanity, showing that all earthly empires are temporary, but his divine kingdom is forever. Amen. Amen. All right, y'all. That is all I have for the full breakdown of Daniel chapter 2. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.